Hi, I'm Thomas.
And I'm Sheena, and we're chasing a plate. Today we're in Kuala Lumpur and we're off to try the taste sensation that is the Malaysian Indian dish Nasi Kandar. Let's eat. Nasi Kandar is made up of a plate of white rice, and then you flood the plate with curry sauce and load up as many types of curries and side dishes as you like onto your plate. I can spot prawn curry, there's fried chicken, I think there's lamb or mutton, there's squid, all sorts. I am super excited about this. Our plates are piled high with food. We've got white rice, and then the white rice has been flooded with a mix of curry sauces. So the server basically just grabbed a splash of sauce from all the different curries and has popped it on the plate. I think that term is called banjir. Please correct me if I've got the terminology wrong, but I think that means to flood the plate with curry sauce. I've opted for a bit of a seafood theme, so I've got a prawn curry, I've added some fish eggs, and I've got a vegetable side. It's cabbage, I think, with a few curry leaves mixed in. Nasi Kandar originates from Penang. The Indians who came from Tamil Nadu in India basically brought this style of eating with them. And boy, does it look good. I just love the look of this saucy rice. I'm gonna start with the fish eggs because they're really intriguing. Loaded up my spoon. That rice is such a great mix of flavors because of all those different types of curry sauces. And the fish eggs are actually quite meaty, a little bit chewy. It's not like a hugely distinctive flavor. There's definitely a fish flavor, but it's a great texture. So it is almost like eating pork or chicken, like that type of texture of meat. It's delicious.
Just like Sheena, I have a plate piled high. We've got a huge piece of fried chicken, a chicken curry, I've got the same veg, so the cabbage, obviously the rice underneath with all the sauce on top. I'm gonna try first this jet black beef. It looks like some sort of inside of a beef, to be honest, because it doesn't look like a normal cut, but all we know is that it's beef. That can mean anything. Yeah, it's really hard to pull apart. Oh, maybe it's, no, I think maybe it's meat as such, like traditional meat. It's very black, maybe some soy sauce. Very tender. It was hard to pull apart, but actually it's very tender in the mouth. The sauce is a little bit sweet. I can't really taste soy or anything, to be honest, but I think that must be the base because there's a slight sweetness. But the best thing about it is all the sauce and the rice from all the other curries. Because they take a little bit of everything, you just get all this concoction of flavors going on underneath, and it just mixes really well. You know, I've still got some beef in my mouth. It tastes a bit like jerky. It's like tender as anything, but a little bit chewy like a piece of jerky. And it's got that aged sort of feel to it. This is very, very tasty. This is a great way to eat. I mean, you pick what you want, you get a lot of what you want, and the flavor's epic. I can't wait to try more.
I've got a rose syrup concoction to wash it all down. One of the waiters said that that was his favourite. He pointed to it and said order that, so I went with it. It's got rose syrup, I think it might be milk, and then there's these tiny little basil seeds in there. I'm just going to give it a bit of a mix. I think there's jelly as well. It looks very refreshing no matter what it is. It's super sweet. It's rose flavored. There's some milk. There's sort of like little bits of jelly and those basil seeds. And I think there's a little bit of maybe soda because there's a bit of a fizz. Sweet, delicious, refreshing. I like that.
To cool me down, I've got a lime tea. This is a very common drink here in Malaysia. Drinks in general in Malaysia are a huge thing. everywhere you go, there's a massive drinks menu. You'll always get asked what drink you want. So say you go to a hawker centre and there's a separate drink stand. So you've ordered your food, you sit down, someone will always walk up and ask what drink you want or give the international symbol for what drink. And they're always, well not always, but they're generally very sweet, which is great in this heat because it's, you know, 35 degrees or something today, so we're dripping with sweat. So all this sugar in this one, the fresh lime, it's just a basic tea. I've got it iced. Very subtle in flavour, subtle tea flavour, hit of lime, that's what you need to refresh yourself in this weather.
So it's called Nasi Kandar. Nasi means rice and Kandar means the type of pole that actually was used by the food traders when they were selling this dish, so that they would have a pole on their shoulder and then 2 buckets full of the rice meal that they were selling. So sort of like in the same vein as a milkmaid carrying 2 pails of milk. And that's how they used to sell their food. They'd wander the streets and have it balanced on their shoulder. So cool. That's what I love about Malaysia. There is such a mix of cultures and the food is so diverse. This is probably only the 2nd time we've ever had Nasi Kandar, so it's a really new dish for us. We're from New Zealand and then we lived in Australia for a few years, and I don't recall any Nasi Kandar restaurants anywhere in Auckland or Melbourne where we lived. So this is really, really exciting for us, being able to try different styles of eating and different cuisines. It's just so cool. I'm gonna get into my prawn. It is absolutely massive, and I think the only way to tackle this is with my hands. I'm just gonna rip the head off, and that is filled with juicy prawn brains, which will definitely be sucked. Actually, so juicy, filled with the curry sauce, almost custardy. And then I'm just going to rip this shell off. There is so much meat on this prawn. It is incredible. And the shell's actually really soft from the cooking. I'm just going to give it a big old bite. So meaty, really beautiful flavour. Like you really do only just need one because it's so massive. And it hasn't been overcooked, so it's not mushy. It's got a nice crunch to it.
Like Sheena touched on, we're definitely not experts on this style of food, so let us know in the comments below if we're getting anything wrong or, you know, naming things wrong, because we really want to learn as we go and as we spend more time in Malaysia. And while you're down there, it'd be awesome if you could hit subscribe to follow our food journey. Speaking of our journey, we're really trying to just open it up for people so you can see how easy it is to eat like this when you're traveling. It's not a scary thing. We can't really talk to the guys in there and we don't really know what the heck we're doing. But you just kind of go with the flow, everyone smiles, everyone's helpful, and you end up with the best experiences. And on that note, I want to experience this chicken. So it's just a chicken curry and a sauce. Oh. When you think of curry, that's what you think of. For me anyway, but you know that just like beautiful curry powder sort of curry taste? That's what that is. Tender chicken, that beautiful sauce. Wow, that is so nice to eat. There's no big surprises. It's not very spicy at all. The chicken's tender. That is beautiful. I'm loving it.
Because I'm a fried chicken fiend, I said to Thomas that no matter how much other food we got, we had to get fried chicken on top of all of it. This looks real good. It's really crisp and it's not oily looking at all. I'm gonna go for the wing. It's just like a really subtle spice. The batter is really, really thin. A lot of flavour, not oily. It's a good piece of fried chicken. Let's give this cabbage a go. We arrived at around 3 o'clock and there wasn't too much left in the bain-marie. So the only vegetable available was the cabbage. It hasn't been overcooked. It's still a real crunch. It's really fresh tasting, so it cuts through the heavier curry sauces. That's a good side to opt for. I am so full. You better make sure that you are hungry when you have a feed of Nasi Kandar, because they load up those plates. I have a huge appetite and I just could not finish it. My favorite was probably the prawn curry. It was just so luscious. The prawn was so meaty and the curry sauce was just really, really flavoursome and light. I loved it. The fried chicken was a little bit dry as it progressed. I think what I ate was just the wing, so it was quite tender, but the chicken breast was a little bit dry, so I left most of that as well. We're dining at Restoran Kudu Bin Abdul and it was an amazing experience. If you're in KL, you should definitely try Nasi Kandar. I think we're going to head off now and try and find another drink because it is hot today.
Bandung!
Coconut water! Oh.
So this is like the rose syrup like Sheena's drink at lunch. This one's all mixed, like it's milky, it has jellies in it, just tastes like roses. It's so refreshing, full of ice, really good.
And mine's just plain old coconut water, but just a note, they always add sugar, so if you're not interested in a really sweet drink, just ask for no sugar.
Very good point, and it's a lot of sugar. They don't hold back on the sugar around here.
That was such an awesome meal, a great experience. Remember, if you have any suggestions for us of where we can eat Nasi Kandar or any other dining recommendations in Kuala Lumpur, we're here for 2 months and we have plenty of time to explore. We hope we've inspired you to eat and explore like a traveller, not a tourist. If you enjoyed this video, we would love you to give it a thumbs up. We'll see you next time. Selamat tinggal!
Selamat tinggal!